For my last question, we didn't really talk about putting much, but obviously it's a low hanging fruit for a lot of amateur golfers out there. What are something that you're seeing on tour week in, week out when you're traveling with the guys that are, either putting, equipment, practice, mental game that the everyday golfer can maybe add on to hopefully shave some of those three putts?
Yeah, so the home base stuff still applies. I mean, everybody's got their, needs to have their home base that we check. Lucas and I today, we haven't been putting great, but we haven't been putting super poorly.
Hmm.
But we made some changes on Saturday. He discovered a couple of things himself, and then today we've been here for we played over 18 holes last 2 days combined, and we were going to go putt. And about 30-40 minutes into the putting session, I'm watching the normal things I normally watch, and he walks over to me and goes, I just can't get right. I just can't feel like I'm in the right spot all the time. And it was one of those times where we had not had this discussion in a very long time. I had heard him say it that way,
Hmm.
and luckily I had something that I, because it wasn't something I was seeing, it's something he was feeling. And
Mm.
so we just went into a kind of a home base exercise with his body about getting himself stacked. Like let's start by just being aware by standing up. Are your knees over your ankles? Are your hips over your knees? Are your shoulders over your hips? Okay. Are your eyes, level to the horizon? Okay. Like reevaluate your awareness of that. And then now let's just stack in and stay and get into a tilt with that same feel. And, he loved it. It worked fine. But it's sometimes just the little simple things of awareness. But going back to, how to shoot a lower score without changing your golf swing. I mean, this is low hanging fruit right here for everybody. First of all, people are too worried about their stroke. All right. They're not worried enough about their face at impact. Okay. Like where that putter points at impact is 95% of where that ball is going to start.
Mm.
So there's all kinds of stroke gadgets. Okay. There are very few about the 95% of the start direction that's provided by the face. So then the other thing is a misnomer that they are supposed to follow through on a putt.
Mm.
All right. So
Please elaborate. I like this one. I've
okay.
kind of heard
So
a little bit on here because everyone thinks you're supposed to, accelerate too much, but
yeah, well, they're afraid of decelerating.
uh-huh.
Okay. And every putter on earth is decelerating when they hit a putt. All right. Why are they decelerating?
Because they hit the ball.
Because they run into the ball. Okay. So if you're making this, perfect little stroke with no ball, and you go, this is how far my follow through is supposed to go, and then it runs into the ball. All
Hmm.
right. Shouldn't go as far forward. All right. So your backstroke should always be longer than your forward stroke. All right. Maybe when you're rehearsing it, they match up the same, but you're not running into anything. Okay. So I
Mm.
think that part of it starts messing up. And I learned a lot of this from my good friend Joe Hallett, who was the PGA Teacher of the Year last year. And he's got data on it. So it needs to coast into the ball. It doesn't need to accelerate into the ball. And so that hurts two things. It hurts speed, which is the number one thing for the golfers in your audience. They don't control speed well enough. All right. And
Mm.
then while they're trying to accelerate the putter through the ball, they're adding twists to the shaft.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if I'm going to accelerate anything, I'm going to probably do something that makes the putter move around the shaft, the
Mm.
putter head. And that's where now we've got direction off and we've got speed off, and that doesn't seem like the greatest way to putt. So once you start understanding you do not have to accelerate, okay, and that your putter is going to hit something and slow down, and the backstroke should be longer than the forward stroke. All right, now we can actually go into really judging speed and getting speed to be number one. If you were really good at speed, and then you were really good from 8 feet and in, you're the rest. If everybody got 5% better on your podcast here at speed and 8 feet in, you'd be amazed how many strokes come off your score.
Couldn't agree more. And I got to just pull one little string on that just to clarify then. So is it a tempo thing you feel like, or do you think people take too big of a backswing and then just like kind of slow down at the ball to decelerate too much? Or like, Is it using a metronome? Like what do you like kind of recommend? Because I understand the kind of that pop motion that you're talking about. I guess I'm just trying to figure out what players can like take to the range
Yeah.
or to the practice green or even to their indoor mat to kind of feel that out a little bit.
Yeah. So most players don't take a big enough backswing.
So they're
All
kind of
right.
stabby.
Yeah, they're short to long, so they're afraid of
Ah,
decelerating. All right, because and if they're going to accelerate, then they can't take it back too far and accelerate it because then it really will go too far. So
sure.
they take it back shorter and accelerate through it when they should be taking it back. And everybody can do this with some simple tees and a metro. I like metronomes still, so 68 beats a minute, and the backstroke is one count, impact is the other. All right, now I'm
Mm.
going to hit the putt a little further. So the backstroke's going to go back farther, and I'm going to come back to impact. If I went back a little further, obviously, and I kept it in the same tempo, then the putter did move a little bit more, so the ball's going to go further. And then I'm going to take it back a little farther and try to keep that in that 1-2 ratio, and
Hmm.
just let Cam Smith had a great comment recently that I loved. He's like, I hit every putt with my backstroke. He just takes it back farther if he wants the ball to go farther, but he keeps the tempo and the rhythm the same. And I thought that was,
Mm.
a great way of explaining it. I just hit every putt with my backstroke.
And so his follow through is pretty much the same though. Is that what you're
Follow
saying?
through is the same. Yeah, follow through is the
Interesting.
same. Tempo is the same. And here's one of the, arguably one of the top 5 putters in the world telling
Yeah.
you like that I hit it with my backstroke. I don't hit it with my forward stroke. Where we're all trying to, when the putter stops, we're trying to put some force into it on the way
Hmm.
through and trying to follow through and get my putter to keep moving towards the hole. Woo,